Tell me, why does an empire that conquered 40,000 worlds
fear one silent blue planet?
The Vor'thal Dominion had cataloged 40,000 species across the galaxy. They had a rule, older than their empire: never touch Earth. No one remembered why. The old warnings had been wiped from their archives centuries ago, deemed superstition. All that remained was the rule itself, repeated like scripture: leave the blue world alone. Commander Draxis Venn didn't believe in ghosts. He stood on the bridge of the ash veil, staring at the small blue planet on the view screen, surrounded by nothing. No fleet, no defense grid, no orbital weapons. Just clouds and oceans and silence. "Explain to me," Draxis said, "why an empire spanning 11,000 systems is afraid of that." His science officer hesitated. "The old logs call it quarantine, sir. Not a conquest. A containment." Draxis laughed, low and sharp. "Containment implies something worth containing. I see mud and monkeys." Down on the surface, in a quiet mountain research outpost in Colorado, Dr. Elena Reyes adjusted her radio telescope and frowned at a signal that shouldn't exist. A ship, cloaked but not cloaked enough. She didn't panic. She didn't run. She picked up the phone and made one call. "They're here," she said. "Wake up the protocol." Somewhere beneath the mountain, lights began to flicker on in a facility that had waited 70 years for this exact moment. Draxis brought down 3 assault shuttles, expecting no resistance. He got none at first. No jet scrambled. No missiles rose to meet him. Just an old woman in a lab coat, standing alone on a ridge, watching his ships descend like she was watching weather roll in. "You not going to run?" Draxis asked through the shuttle's translator, amused. "No," Elena said. "I'm going to explain something to you, and I need you to listen carefully, because it might save your life." Draxis stepped out onto human soil for the first time, flanked by 6 armored soldiers, each one twice her height. "Explain quickly, then." "Your empire wrote a rule about this planet," Elena said. "You broke it the moment you entered our atmosphere. Not because of politics. Not because of some ancient treaty. Because of us." Draxis's mandibles clicked in something like laughter. "You are unarmed. Untrained. Alone." "I'm not alone," Elena said quietly. "I'm just the one who talks first." Draxis raised a hand, and his soldiers leveled their weapons at her chest. The wind stopped. The birds stopped. For a moment, the whole mountainside held its breath. "Last chance," Draxis said. "Kneel, and I may let your species live as a labor colony. Refuse, and I level this facility myself." Elena didn't kneel. She didn't flinch. She simply tapped the earpiece hidden beneath her collar. "Authorization Reyes 1, she said calmly. They didn't listen. Deep underground, something the Vor'thal had never scanned, never detected, never imagined, began to wake up. The mountain opened, not with an explosion, with precision. Panels of rock and steel folded away like petals, revealing a hangar built into the bones of the earth itself, holding machines that had never once been used, only maintained, generation after generation, for exactly this day. Draxis felt the ground hum beneath his boots before he understood what it meant. "What is that?" he whispered. "The reason your empire's rule existed," Elena said. "We didn't survive our own history by being weak, Commander. We survived it by learning faster than anything that ever tried to end us. Ice ages, plagues, ourselves. Every single time, we adapted before the thing trying to kill us could finish the job." 6 drones rose from the hangar, sleek and silent, built from technology reverse-engineered from a Vor'thal scout ship that crashed in 1947, a ship the Dominion had quietly written off as lost. Draxis's soldiers opened fire. The drones didn't dodge. They didn't need to. Shields older than his ships flared blue-white and swallowed every bolt without a flicker of strain. "Impossible," Draxis breathed. "You called us primitive," Elena said, stepping forward now, unafraid, "because you measured us by our worst weapon instead of our best mind. Every species you've conquered surrendered when they saw a bigger gun. We're not like that. We don't surrender. We study the bigger gun until we build a better one." The drones fired once. Precise. Restrained. Every Vor'thal weapon in Draxis's hands turned to slag in his grip, and he stood there, empty-handed, in front of a species his empire had spent centuries running from without ever admitting why. "You're not soldiers," he said, backing toward his shuttle. "No," Elena said, and for the first time she smiled. "We're the reason your ancestors wrote that rule." Draxis Venn left Earth with 2 of his 3 shuttles and a report he knew his superiors wouldn't believe. He was wrong. They believed every word, because the old warning, the one nobody could explain, suddenly made perfect sense again. The Dominion didn't send a fleet to punish humanity. They sent an apology, and then they made sure the rule was never questioned again. Back on the mountain ridge, Elena Reyes watched the enemy ships shrink into the sky until they were gone completely. The drones settled back into their hangar, silent once more, waiting for a day she hoped would never come again. A young technician jogged up beside her, breathless. "Ma'am, we just turned away an interstellar invasion with 6 defense drones and a conversation." Elena looked at the sky a moment longer, calm as still water. "We didn't turn them away," she said. "We reminded them why they were always afraid of us in the first place." She turned and walked back into the mountain, the doors folding shut behind her like they had never opened at all. Somewhere among the stars, in 1,000 different languages, an old warning was rewritten, word for word, exactly as it always should have read. "Leave Earth alone, not because they are weak, but because they have never once lost."